When the network of satellites designed to control the global climate starts to attack Earth, it's a race against the clock for its creator to uncover the real threat before a worldwide geostorm wipes out everything and everyone. And hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you another movie review, and this time we're going to be talking about Geostorm. Yes, Geostorm, starring Gerard Butler, Tom Sturges, Ed Harris, Abby Cornish, and Andy Garcia. And it came out back in 2017. And yes, I'm just now seeing it. And if you guys have watched a good portion of my videos, you'll know that I love Gerard Butler. He's actually become one of my favorite actors. Both sort of in and out of the action genre, but mainly the action genre. But I just think he's a pretty strong, reliable, and believable actor in general. I love the Has Fallen movies. I like Olympus Has Fallen a lot. London is fun. Angel Has Fallen is the best so far. I very much like every movie. Every movie is done to some extent. Even Bounty Hunter with him and Jennifer Aniston and such. And I still gotta watch Den of Thieves and Vanishing yet, but I'll talk about those when I do. So yes, I was even willing to see him and buy the Blu-ray of Geostorm. Despite all the mixed and negative reviews I've heard. It's a disaster movie. It's disaster porn, if you want to call it that. That's pretty much the only real selling point for it. Besides Gerard Butler himself, that's probably why the movie got the kind of release it did, because he is a bankable actor, which I think he deserves. This movie went through some production issues apparently though. But before it went through some reshoots, some rewrites, and stuff like that. And I just have to mention, Catherine Winnick was going to be in this at one point, okay? Catherine Winnick, Lagatha from Vikings. She is a fantastic actress. Go watch Vikings right now if you haven't, please. Start from the beginning. She is going to be cast as Gerard. She was cast as Gerard Butler's ex-wife, and apparently the character is still in the movie, but she has maybe 1-2 scenes or so. Apparently the character is going to have more screen time, and probably would have shared one with Gerard Butler, or maybe she would have had to protect their daughter or something, I don't know. But then it just got pretty much cut out. So that's a waste, right off the bat. But besides that, Gerard Butler, I think he gives a good performance. He's his usual self, but again has that kind of strength and just enough flicker of emotion to make him feel real. I thought he did well in the movie. Sort of the rest of the supporting cast. She's not the only supporting cast member, but they were all right. You also have Jim Sturgis playing Gerard Butler's brother. And I don't think they really look that much alike, but it's what it is. That Jim Sturgis was fine. Abby Cornish was his CIA agent's fiance. She was alright. Didn't feel necessary to the plot. Well, I guess the conspiracy side of it. And that's another thing. You also had Daniel Wu in here. Good mix of different types of actors. Ed Harris, same as he always is, but Ed Harris, so he's good. You also have Robert Sheehan, who's gotten fame recently for Umbrella Academy and stuff like that. I think he was in Mortal Instruments, or not Mortal Instruments, but he was in Mortal Engines. So a good mixed cast here, I guess. But here's the issue with it. And yet the brother dynamic is fine. There's a nice little arc for it, but it's all pretty predictable. There's no surprise in this movie, surprise fate for a character. Really, it goes the way you think it's gonna go. It's not without its thrills, but most of the movie is especially the first hour, I'd say, is more of a conspiracy, maybe disaster thriller sort of thing. It sort of plays like that. and then like the last like half an hour is when things kind of start happening. So it might bore some. I was a little disengaged, I'll admit. But because I like Gerard Butler so much, I was kind of willing to press forward. Also, the young actress that played his daughter, I thought was decent as well. And then another issue is Gerard Butler's character Jake and his Jim Sturgis' character. There are two protagonists, but for pretty much the whole movie, neither of them are in real danger until the climax, where Gerard Butler's in the space station and such. There's a decent amount of suspense with it, and a predictable yet somewhat effective emotional beat, because it's Gerard Butler. It was one of the better parts, or maybe saving graces of the movie for me. But besides that, they're never really in any danger, which is odd to not have your main characters like in the thick of it. Like the poster, it shows Gerard Butler holding his daughter, big wave coming at him. But no, they're never in any direct danger at all like that. I mean, even his daughter is kind of just like in a apartment or a penthouse, wherever it is, for most of the time. And Gerard Butler himself is just trying to figure things out in the space station. Jim Sturgis is kind of going around within the city and stuff like that, but even he's never put in any danger. It's kind of weird. And most of the people we see are just kind of like extras, just like random locations around the world. And we see them either eventually die or narrowly escape or narrowly survive, and that's what we get. Although I was happy, there's a little dog that kept showing with a kid in I forget what country it was, but the dog survived, so I'll take it. Yeah, so I found that odd. The movie's like an hour and 15 minutes. It's about how long it needed to be. I'd say I don't think it needed to be any longer than that. Like I said, so it's predictable the way it goes. It's probably a very meh movie if it wasn't for Gerard Butler, honestly. The effects are okay. Like I've heard some people say they're terrible. They're not terrible, but they don't really stick out for you, really. They're kind of just there. They're serviceable, I'd say. So yeah, if it wasn't for Gerard Butler, I'd probably put it down to like a 6 out of 10. Like a 64, 68%, somewhere in there. I don't know. But for his sake, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I'll give it like a 73%, somewhere around that. So let me guys thought about Geostorm. It's definitely not the worst I've seen. But I don't know, it could use some other flair to it. I don't know. But you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.